How long you been training again now?
Like a week, 2 weeks.
Wow.
It's
Same
going
thing
good.
last time.
Do like one exercise per body part, chilling, one set.
Is that what
Hasn't
you
been
do?
pretty much. Yeah, I'm in the gym for like 30 minutes.
Oh, we should have had you on the conversation with Paul Carter. You would have
Well,
loved that.
it's just because that's all I need right now. Like, dude, I do one set and I'm super sore, so it's like I'll work up to 2 sets in a couple weeks.
But this is something I want to address real quick. Because after that last episode, I knew this was gonna happen. That's because just how fucking people are. I need you guys listening to this to understand that when I bring people on, interview them, I'm asking them questions to help elaborate for you guys to understand. Like I already have a base understanding of what they're going to say. I know these people. I know what their argument's going to be going into these things, how they're going to explain things. But it's just to get more into depth on it, provide a platform for them to really just go into conversation, so we can get down to the nitty gritty of these things and just help educate you guys really. And I'm not saying like I won't learn things along the way here, but there are people who watch that podcast and were like, respect for you, Seb, for going up against Paul. Like that was not ever happening at all. Like I was just asking questions that I knew you guys want to have a deep understanding on. So that's how I formulated the podcast. It's an interview type thing to give people these chances to just open up and talk about these things that they might not have the same demographic as me. And as you guys continue to watch these podcasts, you're going to see the more people I have on, a lot of these guys will say the same things in different ways. Sometimes they contradict each other. So with that also being said, you can't just take what one person says and use it as gospel, even though we did get into the explanation of things. There's just so much nuance within that. And it's not just like, you hear Paul say, you only need to do 6 sets or 3 sets. And then now it's like, okay, now I'm only going to do 6 sets and I'm going to entirely change my training just based off of that one conversation. That would be retarded essentially. But yeah, there was no scenario where I was challenging Paul. That was not the goal of the podcast at all. I feel like that should be common sense, but I have to say that.
I think it's beneficial for people to hear different perspectives like that, because then they can critically think, okay, so this is another side of knowledge. Someone's saying that they only need, 3, 6, 8 total working sets per muscle per week. Okay, maybe I'm not going to take that as gospel, and that's the fact because this person that sounds smart said it, but I'm going to take that, put that in the back of my head, and then use that to actually make my own decisions based on what works best for me. That's the best way that people should go about listening to these podcasts and videos on TikTok and all that.
Yeah, it's just in taking any information. Like when I would watch Fool Eyes, and if you watch Fool Eyes podcast, it's like a lot of these guys, you watch these things and you listen, you gather information, you become a sponge, you listen to the knowledge, you don't soak it in. You don't just watch one podcast, like listen to what I say. If I have Paul or Joe on or Phil or anybody, and then it's like, okay, I'm going to listen to everything this guy says in this podcast. I'm not going to even consider all the other shit. Like this is the golden way. This is it. I'm going to do 3 sets or whatever. And people were also asking me, like, are you going to stop programming intensifiers and drop sets now that you talk to Paul? And it's like, no, what the fuck? Like, I'm not just going to nobody do drop sets anymore. And that I talked to Paul, like, I already knew what Paul's argument was going to be going into that. And also, like, if you actually understood the conversation, it all comes back to the same thing that we keep saying, is that there's an implementation. It's all about the implementation, making sense within the program. Nobody's just programming a bunch of drop sets for no reason, just to like go fucking hard or go crazy. It has to do with the overall, how the fucking total workout is broken up. So it's all just a lot of fucking, what's the word I'm looking for?
Nuance
And,
variability and
variability. That was the word. Okay.
Yeah, but no, people think that they're gonna stop doing drop sets and intensifiers and all this, and it's gonna make their training better. But really, if they go from training how they're training right now to just taking out the intensifiers, they're not getting the other aspect of what Paul was actually really trying to say, which was get the most you can out of each set and don't just rely on the intensifiers. I think that was like his main message, like to get the stimulus. So if someone sees that video and they see, okay, well, Paul's saying drop sets are bad, they're going to negatively affect you. Now I'm going to keep doing the same straight sets, just take out the drop sets. You're not training anymore.
Well, it's all just because how people usually execute these things. Like if we take out the drop sets, if you're somebody who's training and you're like, all right, I'm going to take out all my intensifiers, all my drop sets, maybe that's a case if you're not even sure if you're going to failure. Now we need to really just emphasize, can you even go to failure on a straight set to begin with?
Right.
Let's see that. But, he even said he does them. It's about just going to, because a lot of people just aimlessly do a drop set and then just end up doing like a bunch of just fucking pump work and they won't actually even go to failure on that drop. It's just like task failure is what we were talking about. So, I mean, at the end of the day, if you have critical thinking skills, you would be able to understand the conversation. You know, I just have to break it up over and over again because some people just still don't understand, even though we go into depth on it in a 3-hour podcast.
Mhm.
Jesse, you look like you're an American Eagle model.
Appreciate that. But the one thing I want to say about the drop sets thing is basically there's 2 ways to do it. If you're making your straight set less because you're planning on doing a drop set and you want to do, that drop set more efficiently and you're taking away from your real set, then that's when you shouldn't be doing a drop set. But if you're still taking your regular set to failure and then adding on it with the drop set, that's when you should do it.
Yeah, what a lot of people do is with drop sets is they'll have like we kept talking about task failure. So people will say, I'm going to do a set of 8 to 12 reps. And then they'll get to that 8 to 12 reps. And maybe they're not even at failure, but they're going to stop it anyways. Because you know what? Now I'm doing this intensifier. I'm going to do a drop set. So they're going to stop the set short of failure at that 8 to 12. And then they're going to do a drop. And maybe they'll go to failure with that drop or they'll get closer to it. Or maybe they're not even going to failure with that drop. But the point is you should always be going to failure from the initial jump, from the first set, and then doing a drop going to failure after if you are doing that as well.
Yeah. If you're doing it that way, I don't see how anyone could argue against that.
Yeah, no, I mean, again, it just has to do with the overall implementation of the program. Like if we're talking about effective stimulator X, somebody will say, you could just do 2 straight sets and that's, better than, 1 set and a drop set, which it might be true, but that just has to do with that just has to do with preference and how you really want to fucking train. If you only want to do straight sets throughout your whole entire workout, guess what? Your training is going to be fucking boring at the end of the day. It's not going to be fun. At the end of the day, like the reason why you bodybuild and the reason why we train is because we like to fucking train. Nobody here hates to train and wants to train some mundane, boring way. It takes out the whole reason why we're doing this. We do this because we love to train and we like to fucking go hard and push ourselves. So we want to do that in a way that makes sense too.
Totally.
What's up, Nas?
Yeah, no, I agree, bro. It makes sense. So it's the same thing like when people say, like their training takes 30 or 40 minutes. Like, bro, I'm pretty much a full-time bodybuilder now, so I'm gonna let my training last a bit longer in a day because it's the main thing that I do. It isn't a case you're just like pumping out extra sets for no reason.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing with, there's just nuance to it. There's difference between, people like us talking, people who do this and like, it's like, I'll train. I don't have like a time limit. I could spend 2 hours in the gym. I like to do that. It's fine. Like I'll definitely have a 2-hour session in the gym, but there's people who are like, I have family, I have 9 to 5. Like I need to limit it to an hour max. And then that person, maybe it's not about, having the most fun training. They're just trying to get a goal. They're trying to reach a goal in the best way possible. So it's just important to understand these things and understand that like, what I could do could be perfectly fine for me and could be optimal is just as fine, but like you might need to do things a little bit differently based on, your life and your goals and whatever situation you're in. But yeah,
it's pretty obvious. At least
it's not obvious. It's not obvious. I mean, everything we think is obvious. It's not obvious. It's not.
It's obvious if you actually understand it, but if you haven't actually had the experience,
nobody understands it. That's the thing. That's why we were fucking going back and forth about it all the time. Nobody understands anything.
I know, because they don't have the experience and they don't understand for themselves.
Yeah, I'm getting who's coming on? John Jew is coming on this week, and then Phil is coming on next. So be pretty good.
Are you doing just like a one-on-one with them, or do you have other guests too?
Adam's gonna come on the one with John, and I'll do one-on-one with Phil. I want to get Joe on as well. Everyone, you guys keep fucking asking about Ryan. I don't know. Stop asking about Ryan, man. I already told you guys like fucking 100 times. I talked to Ryan. I'm waiting on Ryan to come on when he's ready. I don't know when that's going to be. Ask him. Keep asking him. Stop asking me. Now, I feel like you don't have a lot of experience with gear, right? Like you don't have a ton of experience, or do you?
Not really, but making weight for my first show, that was a crazy story. That was like what? I think I lost 5 kg in 30 hours. Which is like what, 12 pounds or something.
Yeah. Well, what did I lose? I lost 8 pounds that morning. Remember?
Bro, but the scale wasn't dropping for me. So I was just like, I remember it was one of the hottest days of the year. Like we had a heat warning. People's cars were melting and shit. Like,
people's cars were melting. What?
Yeah, bro. It was like pictures like
the
roofs on people's cars because it was that hot. And I was in the sauna for like 3 hours. I had to take laxatives. I had to take laxatives that go both ways. I had to take the ones that, you take orally, and I had to take the other ones as well because my stomach was fucked and I just hadn't shit in like 5 days.
Do you think that made you look worse?
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I still think I looked pretty good that first show, but I just like I had some stuff going on mentally as well, which is why I just folded. Like if you watch the videos from that show, I didn't even pose or anything. I don't know how I managed to get second place, but I literally just stood there. Like I did nothing. The first show last year, I did nothing and managed to get second place.
It just shows like
The
how
physique.
the physique. They're like, just like, yeah, it's
Fucking
oh,
comes
we don't
out
even,
there, stands
it's
there,
over.
you win.
Bro, making weight that day was horrendous. Like everything I did.
What's your weight cutoff?
As an amateur, it was 220. Yeah, it's 230 now. So
Yeah,
I've got a long way up.
Mine was 182. 182, but I thought it was 175. So I woke up at 178 and I was like, fuck, I have to lose weight right now. So I did like an hour of fast cardio. I went in the sauna for like an hour and I got down to 172. And then I got there and they were like, you could be 182 because you don't know what they're going to fucking measure you as.
Yeah,
not
you
consistent.
don't know.
I have no idea, but it made me look worse. It kind of fucked me over, but I still won.
Yeah, bro, you got so depleted, like you couldn't even come back from that.
No, it was over. But I mean, who knows? The next time I compete, what if they're like, yeah, 175? You don't even fucking know. It's bullshit.
Yeah, this annoys me, man. You should just get, I don't know, maybe measured once a year or whatever you turn pro at. Like, it doesn't make sense to me that
you should have like a license with your fucking information. Like I'm 5'8" right here. See,
I
that's
think
it.
every single bodybuilder in the world agrees on this topic. So
I wonder.
That happened to Ramon this year. Like they told him he's shorter than every other show he's done, which is stupid to me. Like he's done a bunch of shows at the same weight cap, and then all of a sudden this year they remeasured him later on, so he's fine. But do you know what I mean? Just the kind of stress that puts you under, because it's happened to me before.
I wonder.
Go ahead.
No, you go.
I was just gonna say, and then athletes are always stressing about this, and it's like it's been a problem for so long. I know, like I think Logan Franklin's had to deal with this, and I don't know, it's just like crazy because they measure you at different heights each show.
Well, I mean, they shouldn't at each show, but the thing is, you just don't know. I think it's crazy. I think it's crazy the fact that like this is such a well-known thing about every competitor, and they haven't done anything to change that. It would be so easy for them to change that too. Like every time you turn pro, like you get your pro card, you win a national, you go backstage, they fucking take your height, like that's your height. Like, I mean,
they record our weight for every show. Like if you go on the NPC site and you type someone's name in, you'll see all the weights that they've weighed in at every show, and you'll see what the cutoff was for that show. So I don't understand why it can't just be fixed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. There's a lot of things. Now, who knows? Yeah. Who knows? I think are they still going to make that fucking? Remember they were going to make a division smaller than men's physique. They were talking about that.
I didn't hear about
that. Like it's an average like American male model, American male model division.
Oh, like those other federations have. It's just like the guys with
what men's physique was like originally supposed to be. Do you remember when men's physique first came out? How fucking small these guys were?
Yeah, 2015 or 2016.
They were natural.
They weren't natural. Jeff Side was natural.
They look natural.
No, yeah, a lot of those guys were actually trying to become bodybuilders, but then that division opened and they were just smaller. So then they went for that and then fucking just won and took over. And now they're all fucking huge.
Yeah.
You look at like
you did men's physique too, right?
I did men's physique in 2018. Yeah, that was about the years when it started getting like the guys started getting really big. But bro, the Arnold, most of the men's physique guys were bigger than us, like upper bodies.
Yeah, I did men's physique in 2016.
Damn, no, I did in 2018. First show.
Jesse's gonna do men's physique next.
Why not?
Because my legs are my best body part. So like, why would I do men's physique?
That's true.
Yeah,
and also the posing is just whack. Like you walk out there, stand, turn around, that's it. You're done.
2 poses.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like that at all. I mean, people say that they're not bodybuilders. Obviously, they're bodybuilders, but it's like there's just that huge aspect of bodybuilding missing, the posing. It's like that would just fucking bother me so much not being able to pose at all, really.
Mm-hmm. I mean, bro, like they're not even judging our posing anymore, though, if we're being real. Like,
they're not.
It doesn't affect if you're going to win or lose a show.
But it's like you can't. What?
You still got to be able to present your physique, though, and that matters.
Yeah. But your actual posing isn't scored.
your posing
like-
routine isn't scored, no, but like we hit our
Mhm.
mandatories, right? You do frontal
Yeah.
levi, like you do that. So like that
Sure, man.
shows
Sure,
yeah, like when you go into men's physique, I feel like it's so fucking hard to judge men's physique because if you look at them, like when I was at nationals,
Yeah,
all these guys look the fucking same. They're just standing
bro,
straight
especially
and they're
like
standing.
they have like 70 people at the Olympia, and I'm just like, how
Mhm.
how do they pick?
Yeah,
you know,
it's
70
literally
guys of all the same style of physique.
mhm.
Yeah.
Like it's
Same
just such,
transitions too.
it's just such minimal differences. It comes
No,
down
too.
to, it really just comes down to what they fucking like. It's just like a random fucking, apple pick out of a fucking barrel. Like which guy do you like more? Like I like this guy's shoulders a bit more. It's like, it's really just like, so I feel like it's more biased than anything else because they're just nothing to really judge.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's completely subjective, and it's even the same thing with bikini, and probably even worse with bikini. It's even harder to judge that because it's like it's not as objective as bodybuilding, where it's like, okay, this guy is more muscular, this guy has better shape, this guy is more conditioned. It's like which one fits the ideal look the best, and the ideal look can change every year. So that's why it's hard.
Who defines the ideal look? It just comes down to what those fucking guys are like. Yeah, like
Yeah,
that guy right there.
yeah.
That guy. I mean, when you go to like local shows or even some national shows, like it's easy to tell. Like you could see, like
Mhm.
this guy just obviously looks way better than these fucking guys. But when we're looking at the Olympia, it's like all these guys look fucking great, but they just have slightly different shape.
Yeah, it's wild.
I don't know how they judge it. It's hard. I'm sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I wonder if they'll continue to get bigger and bigger or what. I know this past year they picked that one guy, the smaller guy, right? And
Yeah,
everybody
there's a
was
couple
like
of guys.
freaking out about that.
Yeah, there's a couple of guys that like left men's physique this year because of it. But they've basically said they don't want you to have big arms in men's physique. So everyone's probably going to come back with smaller arms this year.
I would hate that. I gotta have small
Bro,
arms.
that's actually what they said, though. They said, like, your delts have got to be bigger than your arms now.
I feel like
Well,
your
yeah.
delts should always be bigger than your arms in every fucking division, though.
Well, that's like an old school thing where they used to have bigger
Yeah.
arms than delts.
It's like a classic thing.
Classic. Yeah. And it
Were
looks-
their arms bigger than their delts though?
No, nobody has
They-
that. Not now.
Yeah.
No, like if you
Just
look
the
at
illusion
fucking
of it.
like fucking Flex Bureau, like his delts are still fucking overpowering his arms, no matter how fucking big his arms are. I feel like that was just like Arnold. Arnold had like fucking huge
Yeah.
arms compared to his
There's a
delts.
few guys. Who else?
Sergio Oliva had like pretty
Yeah,
small-
Sergio's
I,
arms.
I think like Lee Haney too, probably bigger arms than delts. There's a lot of guys because it looks fucking crazy. It's like it's a whole different look. Your arms just look huge.
Yeah, it's not like the men's physique look where it's like a beach body. That's more like bodybuilders have big biceps. Men's physique guys want to be, I don't know.
Yeah, that is
What do you-
kind of true.
What do you think attributes to the huge difference in how those guys looked then versus how they look now? I think the biggest attribution is. I feel like this would be a better question for somebody who was actually like competing in that time, but
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like it has to do with just like growth hormone mainly, growth hormone, insulin, and just the amount of food that they push. I think that's probably the three biggest things.
Pretty much everything's different now. Even like training structure is a lot different now to how it was back then.
Training structure is different, yeah, but I feel like that probably like
Like,
plays less of a factor than the growth hormone and shit.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
Those guys.
definitely.
Yeah,
Like,
Guys
at
are
the
way
top
bigger
level,
now, so
I don't know when they started using growth hormone. I think it was like early 90s, maybe late mid 80s, something like that.
I don't know. But look at when the
Nobody
mass
knows. Nobody knows. It's before we were alive.
90s is when like guys like Ronnie Coleman started coming up and Jay Cutler, Marcus Rule, the biggest guys. That didn't really exist back then in the 70s. So I think GH and other
Marcus Rule. I can't think of that guy was fucking huge.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on, let's see if I could fucking.
There's this one video of like this one posing routine he has where he just looks like bigger than anything I've ever seen in my life. It's insane.
Bro, it's 2002 Night of Champions. That's him at his biggest, I think.
Yeah,
Biggest,
that's-
leanest.
and it's got to be like the camera quality video too, or like the lower quality one because he looks even better in that one.
Yeah.
more grainy.
Yeah, that shit's crazy.
Marcus Rule. I feel like, is he still alive? No.
Yeah, he is. He's
Yeah.
trains with us sometimes.
Trains with Earth.
Yeah.
So you can see this. How do you do this shit? Screen share?
Can you show it on here?
Yeah.
Ooh,
Can you see it?
Yeah.
Karen.
Yeah, this fucking guy.
Oh shit.
Europeans, bro.
Yeah, this guy was fucking massive, bro. What? How about what was this guy like 300 pounds?
I don't know.
How
Yeah, you
tall
must.
was he?
Probably pretty tall. I mean,
He had to have been like
Was that
300.
Dennis Wolf? Yeah.
yeah.
I think Dennis was taller than him.
Dennis looks good here.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, it's crazy. So many of these guys fucking looked so much better at one, but they like as they progressively got bigger, they just look fucking like. I mean, in my opinion, they just progressively get worse once they get past a certain size. Like if you look at like Generation Iron, like 2011, 2012, when they made that movie, all those guys they look fucking awesome. They look fucking insane. And then as they got bigger after that, they just fucking just lose the shape.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Lose the aesthetics.
Their weight starts to grow a little bit more because we're also going to put on the size, and then also aging as well. They're not going to look as good at 40 versus 30. Yeah, I think it's also the waist growing ruins the V taper.
So they're not going to look as good at 30 versus 40. Why do you say that?
No, I said they age. So at 40, they don't look as good as.
But why?
Yeah.
But why?
Like start to downsize and things like that.
Yeah, we know. So one of the first things that's going to go is usually your quad sweep. So you tend to lose that. But
Do you guys know why?
I don't know why. I can't tell you exactly why that happens. I don't know if there is exact like literature on that would explain why the quad sweep goes first. Probably has to do with I don't know, but just like the meathead in me said something about like androgens or some shit like that, but I really don't know.
There's some physiological reason for it. I don't know exactly.
Maybe it's you hold like glycogen or something. I don't fucking know. Honestly, I'm just gonna say a bunch of shit that I have no idea what I'm talking about. But
or what if the most basic reason is that they just kind of get a little burnt out, they get a little tired, and they just are training as hard at 40 versus 30, even though they might be training hard. Just maybe they were training harder when they're at the prime of their career.
Well, this is why I wanted to touch on it because you said they might not look as good as at 40 as 30, but that isn't always the case. Depends on depends on the person. Like who the fuck? What was it? Dexter Jackson,
John Roden.
John Roden, yeah,
when he was like 40 something, right? 43, I think.
Yeah, something like that. And I think it's just to do with what we talk about when we talk about like longevity in bodybuilding. And this comes back to, what I was talking about with Phil. I think I brought this up last time, that the point of me taking this time off, I've taken like fucking 9 weeks off of training. And he's like, it's not a big deal. Like, it's just going to extend your longevity. And he pointed out like guys like Sean and Dexter, like they didn't start lifting till like their late 20s and whatnot. So when you have like when you're not constantly putting your body on so much stress for a continuous amount of time, it's going to extend the amount of time that you're able to sustain a physique like that or build it really, when you just have, I guess, like these like Kevin would take these long periods off training. Like you just have a lot more, I don't know what the word is, recovery. I can't really explain it to you guys, but you see what I'm getting at here?
It's like Andrew Jacks right now. His physique just has like the freshest look out of everyone. He doesn't look his age like on stage at all.
Well, he wasn't even specifically like bodybuilding training till just a couple years ago.
Bro, he turned pro last year. Like,
yeah, it's crazy, man. Yeah. I don't think he even had an Instagram or anything when he was like, he was just lifting, bro, just doing his thing.
Yeah. So I think what I'm getting at is the longer you just continuously put this stress on your body and just fucking do bodybuilding without necessarily any breaks, depending how long you're in it, that depends. Obviously genetics play a factor, but you're probably going to burn out sooner, right? If you started at fucking 15 like me, like I'm probably not going to be able to have my peak physique at 45, but maybe I would have if I started when I was 29,
Yeah. I guess it comes down to like gear use and
so it's not necessarily just the age. It's not just like, oh, you hit 40 and like your physique just starts. Yeah. Because a lot of people think once you hit a certain age, like you're just going to go downhill. But I think there's just more factors that go into that.
Definitely, yeah. But training age specifically, how many years you've been training, as well
training
as
age,
the quality of those years. Like if you've been, pedal to the metal for 20, 30 years, you're going to burn out quicker than somebody who's, as you were saying, like, taking some more time off and then going on cycle and then taking more time off. They're going to be able to, extend the amount of time that they're doing their actual career for. Kind of same thing as like, driving a car. If you're going pedal to the metal for across country, you're going to burn out versus if, you're driving and then taking a little break and driving.
Yeah. I mean, it's really just theoretical because there's no way to really know, there's no way to really test that. So it's not like I'm saying, you should take fucking 6 months off every couple of years. But maybe if you did, maybe like you would have a longer career in bodybuilding. Maybe you would be able to. What?
But so yes, you would have a longer career theoretically. But then there's also the two extremes of health versus competitiveness. So if you're only prioritizing health, you're gonna be the least competitive. If you're only prioritizing competitiveness, you're gonna be the least healthy generally. So you do have to kind of find that line of how competitive you can be and be pushing pedal to the metal while still prioritizing health. So
well, yeah, but it's not even necessarily about health. I'm talking about just being able to, continuously have that physique and be a competitor for a longer time span rather than somebody who like ends up losing their physique in their mid 30s or 40s, even though they're still going, balls to the wall compared to those guys that were able to still, improve to their, mid 40s up to 50s.
Well, generally it has to do with their health is the reason why they quit. That's what I'm saying. So like if you're just trying to be as competitive as possible, then, you're kind of sacrificing your health. But health could be in terms of like the internal health, in terms of your organs, but also it could be with your joints, with the actual muscle tissue. That's also in terms of health. So that's what I'm saying.
Well, yeah, health. But I mean, when you take time off, there's time, obviously, that's, improving you're just having less stress on your body overall. But do you think you respond better? Obviously, you grow much quicker because of muscle memory when you come back, but you think you have the potential to also, once you get back to that initial point where you were, to progress even more at maybe a higher rate since you just had all that time off your body, you're basically like resensitized or some shit like that. You know what I mean? Do you think if you go 10 years straight, you push yourself, you don't have any really like breaks, maybe a couple of deloads or whatever, just normal training, the amount of progress you would make there theoretically take somebody with exact same genetics, all the same variables versus somebody who maybe, took like a 6 month off break in between that time span. Do you think that would have somehow, even though, we would think 6 months off training, it's just less training, make less progress, but maybe that time off allowed them to come back and then improve more after that break?
Theoretically, yes. But also, what if they didn't need that break? 10 years.
Yeah, I think that's probably a bit more genetic, right? Than anything else.
Well, genetics is always the biggest factor at the end of the day here. Yeah. It's always the biggest factor of everything.
We've got to get 2 twins and test this theory out.
Twins.
Do twins even have this? Do twins have the? I feel like this might be a stupid question. Do twins have the exact same genetics?
Not the exact same. No,
it's not the exact same.
Very similar. So
can it be like their exact same?
Unless you cloned them, right? If you cloned someone, that'd work, right?
Then they'd have the same genetics.
Like I know twins. Like obviously they look the same. Do they have the exact same like insertions and everything like that? It's the exact same.
I think they have like slight, tiny differences, right?
It can
like identical twins, yeah.
So it has to do when, like with biology. So when sperm goes into the egg, the chromosomes interact with each other, and they have crossing over happening. And so what happens when the 2 chromosomes are like this? They have this gene goes over to this gene goes over to this gene. And so it's just very random on which genes get switched over from the mom to the dad to make the baby. And so that random crossing over is what causes the genetic variation in the babies.
According to Google, identical twins have 100% the same DNA.
But what is DNA? I don't think DNA is what matters here.
What are we talking about?
That's genetics, yeah. So
DNA is genetics, but it doesn't mean you're gonna have like the exact same insertion points and whatnot, does it? Like exactly identical?
I think they would be identical if you were like grown in the exact same way, but there's going to be like different things, different forces acting on your body and stuff that'll affect the way you develop. So there will be slight differences, but like theoretically, it would have been the same, I think.
So like, some people just have like a genetic propensity just to be strong. Maybe that's why both of those motherfuckers are so strong. Like some guys just have genetic propensities to just be strong as fuck. They just bench 315 easily. So would that be the same in 2 twins? Like they both just, have those same.
They're identical twins for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Assuming they have the same upbringing and everything, that like nothing affected it.
Yeah, their genetics are going to be very, very similar. But we have to also realize that every single cell in their body has all of the DNA for their entire body. So it just depends on whether it's active or not. So a skin cell has the genetics for your hair, for example. So all of the genetics that encode your entire body isn't going to be 100% the exact same between, twins. It might be 99% or 98%. I don't know the exact number. But if, let's say, a twin has blue eyes and the other has brown eyes, that's a difference in genetics. Or curly hair versus straight hair, or even like, birthmarks or anything like that. Like that's a little different.
Wouldn't that be a fraternal twin then if they had like different traits?
Yeah,
like
if they have like, that'd be a fraternal twin. Yeah. But genetically, they're going to have very, very similar genetics. And so that's why
so like identical twins are identical in every single aspect.
Yeah. I mean, also you can kind of see a slight variation in the way they look sometimes. Sometimes they tell.
I don't know.
Like a mother can tell the difference between her two kids. There's also
when they're babies sometimes.
Imagine we had two fucking twin Olympians like fighting for first and second place.
That'd be hard to judge that. They have the same genetics, same.
That'd be some bullshit. One fucking retires, the other one just keeps winning.
Yeah.
Turns. There's got two C bumps, just two C bumps.
Two Ronnie Colemans, just identical twins.
And then they alternate years, so that way each one gets a whole year off season, but they still win every year between the two of them.
That'd be fucking crazy.
They just keep growing.
I debated like putting a thing on my story being like questions for the podcast. I just didn't do it.
Oh yeah, dude, I did a Q&A yesterday. I get a lot of the questions I got, like talking about the earlier podcast, was about fucking the past podcast I did. Like, what are you gonna change? What are you gonna change in your training? Are you gonna stop doing this now? Do you still think barbell squats are, good for beginners? Blah, 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 all this stuff. I'm done talking about the barbell squat thing. I mean, we've gone over. There's nothing else to go over at this point. Do them if you want. Don't do them if you want. Drink your way with milk. Do you drink your way with milk?
No.
Do you?
Me?
Yeah. You drink raw milk.
If I had some raw milk, maybe I would. I don't really even drink whey though, honestly.
I don't really drink whey right now either. It wasn't digesting well, but what I was doing for a long time was blending it into a shake. I was using either almond milk or raw milk and frozen fruit and protein powder and sometimes almond butter. So I guess I do blend it with milk.
But you're making like a whole smoothie thing.
Yeah. But if I was going to bring a shake with me somewhere, like to work or school or whatever, I would just generally put the protein powder into the shaker cup, bring that with me. And whenever I'm going to drink it, just put a little bit of water in there and just chug it. That's what I did for a long time.
What the fuck did you just say?
If I in high school, I used to bring a shaker cup with protein powder in the shaker cup and just
protein in here, no water, gets water later, has a protein shake.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like
I had no idea what you said. I was like, what is he talking about? But
yeah,
I keep fucking running this joke, and I think a lot of people think it's serious because every time I post it, it goes viral about the fucking whey with milk.
Yeah.
And it makes a lot of these kids upset because they're like, that's how I get more calories in. What's wrong with milk? They're like, this guy doesn't know where whey comes from, as if I don't know where whey comes from.
I also think you're being serious, I think.
They do think I'm being serious, which is the funny part, but I am and I'll have people stitch the video. I've had it's fucking hilarious. I don't know if I've sent you, I've seen some of the kids that will stitch my video and they'll take it so seriously. And they're like 16-year-old kids. And they're like, yeah, you should follow this guy, listen to him. Stop fucking drinking that shit. You guys need to listen. They'll be so fucking serious. And it's hilarious. I'm like, it's a joke, but really the reason why I say that is just because I've had so many people come, just see so many people say team milk, team water, whatever. And it's the fact that some kids are like, I can't drink whey with water. I have to drink good milk. It's too gross. And if that's the case, you're just a fucking bitch. That's what it comes down to. If you can't drink whey with water and you need to this is in your protocol, you need to drink this. And it's I can't do it without milk. It tastes too bad. You're just not built for this.
I do want to give a tip though. One thing that I always see people doing that I think it's disgusting is filling up the entire fucking shaker cup with water and putting in the protein powder. And it's protein flavored water. That's disgusting. Literally just put that much water in there.
That much water.
One of the guys at the gym did that to me the other day with pre-workout, bro. He just filled the cup up. And I was like, what am I supposed to do with this? It's fucking awful. It's about
Takes
15
an hour
minutes.
to drink your pre-workout.
Yeah.
I drink. Wait. So how do you take? Do you fucking dry scoop pre-workout?
No, I just, you just want a tiny bit of water in there. I don't need fucking like 700 milliliters of water to drink a pre-workout.
I'll take pre-workout with like 20 ounces of water.
I don't
yeah,
know.
you can do that.
What?
I don't know.
You sip it for a while before the workout, though.
To hydrate, and I put salt in there, and I use like 2 scoops of pump, like a scoop of glycerol, a scoop of Thavage. So I have like fucking 4 scoops of things in there. Crank some salt in there, just hydrate, and you always want to be hydrated. I mean, it doesn't really matter if you're taking that water with the pre-workout or not, but you always want to like go into it super hydrated.
Yeah, I just drink the water on the side. So I'll have like my pre-workout. I'll put like 8 or 10 ounces in the pre-workout, drink that, but also be drinking water like when I'm drinking that on the way to the gym. So that way I'm also getting a bunch of water in. But it's just easier to get the pre-workout in if I do less water. Same with the protein powder though.
My pre-workout's just a caffeine pill and Cialis.
That's horrible.
I don't even need water.
That just sounds horrible, even though it's probably not horrible.
I mean,
Basically,
I don't know if you can take Cialis daily or not. Like if that has negative effects.
What do you mean? That's what literally guys live off of. It's how they fucking function.
Well, it's a blood pressure medication also, so like it's prescribed every day.
Yeah.
Okay, but does that mean that I'm gonna see any negative effects eventually?
I don't know. Stop taking it. See what happens.
I have stopped taking it. I mean, I didn't work out for 3 months and I didn't take it at all. So
the main side effect you might see is prolonged erections. That's really the only thing you're gonna.
Haven't had any troubles with that.
There you go. Also, a dose makes the poison. So if you're taking like 5 milligrams a day versus 20 milligrams a day,
Yeah, it's like it's fine. It's like a small amount just pre-workout.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait. So, Nas, you said your test was 4. You got that tested. It actually was 4.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
That was the only bad thing.
You...
Everything else about my blood work was like really healthy.
And you said that was after prep?
That was about a month after.
That was after your natural show.
No, that was after. This was just after the Arnold's, because I didn't take anything for a month.
Oh,
yeah.
You just came.
You stopped all injections.
Yeah, I stopped everything.
And then how long did it take for you to recover?
I mean, I actually didn't feel like shit really, like physically. Mentally, I just felt a little bit less motivated, but I was gonna feel that way anyway. I've spent half the year, trying to achieve like a certain goal. I got it, and then I got an even bigger high because I was going to the Arnold. But I don't know. After like 2 weeks of cycle, I felt fine.
Okay, so you just got back on. You didn't wait for your levels to naturally recover.
No, he just put me back on test pretty much straight away.
That's what I'm saying. Mine's fucking 21. I thought it would be higher because I don't feel anything. Like I feel completely fine. I don't feel like any estrogen. I haven't had any side effects. The only thing is just really like I'm just not fucking like super horny. That's like the only really thing. And this is, I guess, normal. But I haven't had like any side effects to the point where I would have thought, my test is fucking crashed.
If you went in the gym and tried to move some weight, you'd probably notice.
Oh, dude, I tried to work out last week just because to see if I could. And as soon as I went in there, like I tried to get myself sweating and I started doing a Stairmaster. My quads immediately started cramping just from doing a Stairmaster. It was fucking insane. As soon as I start lifting again, I'm gonna be so fucking weak. It's gonna be terrible.
Yeah, I just did incline dumbbell and I was doing like the 70s for like 8 to 12. It was insane. It was like I'm 17 again.
Yeah, but
that only happened to me after COVID when we didn't train. I didn't train for like 7 months.
You didn't train for 7 months during COVID?
Like I think it was the first one or the second one. It was just it was like that was like 2020.
Like you actually didn't do anything.
Well, I did home workouts for about 8 days, and then I was like, "This shit's fucking."
This is trash. Yeah, I'd rather not train.
Plus, so after that show, that was when I decided to get on gear. So I bought all the stuff. So I was like, I'm just gonna, wait. I'm just gonna let that carry me.
Do you think that break benefited you, or would you rather have just been putting on size during that whole time?
I think it was too long. I think like 2 or 3 months was fine, but it was 6, 7, something like that. It was like February till June, I think, something like that.
And did you just stop? Like, were you still eating right, following a diet, or were you just eating whatever?
I followed a diet. I ate pretty much the same thing every day, but it wasn't like a bodybuilding diet. I remember when I sent it over to Phil, he was like, "How the fuck do you look like what you look like right now eating this shit?" It was a lot of food. It was shit.
So you maintain pretty well.
Yeah, I've always been able to like if I don't train, as long as I eat enough and sleep enough, I won't really. It's not like I'll just disappear.
Yeah, I mean, I've pretty much stayed. It's been like 8 or 9 weeks now. I've stayed around like 180, 183, something like that. And it hasn't really gone lower than that. I thought it would continuously go lower because when I took 3 months off before, when I was younger, when I was 18, when I was in jail, I lost like fucking 40 pounds. But that's also because I had to move around all day. I could barely eat. Like, you're restricted to what you can eat.
Right, why did you
I
go to
couldn't
jail?
train. So I went to jail because when I was 16, I got pulled over. We were smoking weed in the car. I had a joint in the car. We were driving around the neighborhood, literally for no fucking reason. It's actually crazy because I was at this kid's house and I was on the phone with my friend Alonzo at that time, and he was like, "What are you guys doing?" I was like, "We're gonna go smoke around and go drive around and smoke." And he was like, "That's retarded. Like, you're literally at his house, just smoke at his house. You're gonna get arrested." And I was like, "Nah, fuck you. You're like, I'm not gonna get arrested. We're driving around the neighborhood." I literally got arrested. Got arrested. Fucking, I didn't even have the weed on me. We threw it out of the car, and he was just like, "Yeah, like, you're high." And I was 16, so I was just scared. And then they arrested me, and they took me back to the station. And when I went back to the station, they drew my blood, which they weren't allowed to do. I didn't know this, but it's illegal apparently because they didn't have a parental consent. I was a minor, but they had told me if I didn't give them blood that they were going to fine me $5,000. So I was like, what the fuck? Like, $5,000 was like insane amount of money to me. I was like, I'm not taking that chance. I'm going to give them my blood. So I gave my blood. So at that point, there's nothing like I could really do against it, but they put me on probation, gave me a DUI for that. And I was on probation for 6 months and I had to do all this community service, all these classes and whatnot. And I ended up like missing like 2 or 3 of the classes. I didn't get to finish them in time. And my interpretation was going to be that they're just going to extend the probation, right? Like, my probation would get extended maybe another 6 months and I would finish classes. That's not what happened. Like, they just ended my probation and I was like, okay, I guess it doesn't matter. And 2 years later, when I was 18, I got a letter in the mail saying that I was being brought back to court for probation violation. I went to court and they were just like, I had a public defender because I didn't think anything was really going to come out of this. I talked to the guy. He was like, yeah, you're probably going to go back on probation and they're going to make you do these classes. Like, it's the worst thing that's going to happen. I go into the courtroom and they're like, yeah, you're going to jail for 3 months. And that was it. The next day I went to jail. That was it. It was crazy.
Can you also say that they just kind of wanted to make a case out of you?
Yeah. So when I went to the jail, I was 18 and my charge was juvenile. So I had to go to county court and then I had not county jail. And then they had to go bring me to a juvenile facility. And the juvenile facilities is 100 times worse than fucking county jail. Because county jail, you get commissary, people are chill. Like, I mean, I don't know how it is. It obviously depends on where you are, right? But in juvenile facility, kids are fucking batshit emotional crazy. Like, they are literally psychopaths. Like, you're in there with a bunch of kids who literally are not stable for shit. They're insane. And I was like one of the oldest kids there. So it was just fucking ridiculous. And when I got there, like, I was there for, I was friends with like all the teachers and all the security guards and stuff because they made me go to class while I was in there since it was juvenile facility. And they were all like, you're in here for the dumbest shit ever. Like, you shouldn't be in here. They told me that I was a replacement for some kid named Larry. That's what they kept telling me, that I was his replacement. And all these kids were in there for like, trying breaking and entering, sexual assault, robbery, like all kidnapping. Like, these kids were in there for a bunch of crazy shit. And I was in there for a probation violation because I smoked a joint when I was 16. And it was ridiculous. And when I got out, I realized, I find out is the judges within that area, in that district, in the counties, they were sentencing kids to juvenile facilities because they were getting paid out. And a bunch of them ended up going to prison for it. It was called like Kids for Cash or something like that. And I have no idea if I was essentially a part of that, but it would have made sense of the fact that they gave me that punishment for what it was. Like the punishment didn't fit the crime at the end of the day. Obviously, like, I take accountability. It was my fault, whatever. But like, really, like, it was honestly just a bunch of bullshit at the end of the day.
Yeah. No, you shouldn't go to jail. I did that a million times when I was 16, smoking in the car, driving in the neighborhood. My mom's car.
Well, now it's fucking legal everywhere anyways, basically. Legal. I don't know if you could still, I don't think you could like smoke and drive, but I mean, realistically, it's crazy how all of that has changed. I remember I used to fucking be scared you're going to get arrested every time you go to try to buy weed or something. And now you just walk into a dispensary. They're not going to understand that. Like, kids in like your kids or anything, like, they're not going to understand. Like, I don't know when you started smoking weed or whatever, but like the shit that I had to go through to get weed when I was younger was ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. But also, you never know. What if there's a new drug that in
Trend.
yeah, trend.
All
Or
the kids are on trend.
And now you got like trend dealers driving around everywhere and pulling up to your house saying, "Hey, maybe 5 houses down," and they only take cash. It's gonna be the new thing when our kids grow up. That's the thing right now.
SARM dealers.
Sound dealers.
I was a SARM dealer.
Were you?
Well, I worked at One Stop Nutrition, like a supplement store.
It's a SARM dealer.
And I used to sell SARMs there, and I used to also have to upsell them on a PCT for those arms.
I worked at GNC for 3 days.
That's more than me.
And the guys would come in there in those 3 days and they would ask about the testosterone pills. And every guy that came in and asked about testosterone, I told them to get on gear.
How old are you?
It's 19 or 20. Yeah, 19, I think.
That's funny.
Oh, you were like 16.
No, it was 19. I was in Pittsburgh. It was like the world headquarters GNC. And I just walked out one day. It's that bitch Chantel, my manager. Fuck her.
I thought you just said you were there for 3 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
That's a long time.
3 days.
Yeah. That's all
I
it
don't
took.
know. No, I quit. So I quit because the one day, so GNC has these fucking Reebok, these restocking days, like Wednesdays, at least at this one, and you go and you fucking restock the shelves and shit, and like all the employees are supposed to do it, but I was like new, and she was like, "Yeah, you do all the restocking. Don't touch the register. I don't want you on the register, even though I was already trained on the register." And that's how you make commission at GNC is by checking people out, and you get commission on things. So by her telling me not to use the register, it's already like I'm gonna make less money because now like this is how you make this whole point of working here. Like I get commission, and it was like the two managers were like these fucking girls, and they were just like your typical like dumb blonde girls, like there's no reason I would ever listen to you, and they were in the back fucking around. It was actually a day Seth Rogen was filming a movie, and he was right outside GNC, and they're outside GNC like taking pictures of Seth Rogen, and this guy was at the counter and he was waiting to get rung up. So I rung him up, and she comes in the store and she's like, why did you fucking ring him up? Like I told you not to touch register. You need to learn how to follow instructions. So immediately at that point, I told the other manager, I was like, hey, like my nose is bothering me. I'm going to run across the street to go get some Advil or whatever for my nose or Tylenol or something like that. And she was like, okay, that's fine. Come right back. And I just walked out and never came back. And that was it. I was like, I'm not listening to this bitch. That's it.
I feel like that's a similar way that you've quit like every job. Is just leave.
That is how I've quit every job. I've had so many jobs and I would just walk out. I was just, it's over.
Yeah, I'm like the same. I just get sick of it and just go.
Give you a 2-week notice.
Turn up the next day. Fuck that.
Fucking 2-week notice for what? For what?
They don't give you a 2 weeks notice if you're getting fired.
No.
You just like go.
No. What would typically happen with most jobs is I would like miss work one day. Like I would just sleep in, and then after that I'd be like, yeah, can't ever go back there again, and I would just not show up.
You don't want to have to deal with that.
Yeah, I just don't even want to have to explain myself. I'm like, all right, I guess we're finding a new job.
And then they call you, you just don't answer. You're just like, nope, blocked.
Yeah, no. Dude, I don't know if I already told you the one time at Texas Roadhouse when I was serving there. It was literally like 2 years ago. 3 years ago, last time I worked Texas Roadhouse as a server, and
that was more than 3 years ago.
It was right before COVID started. It was 2020, beginning of 2020. I was serving, and it was Valentine's Day, and there was a ton of traffic. I was in Pittsburgh, and I got there late to my shift. And once I got into the building, I walked in. I realized I didn't have my apron or my notepad to like write shit down as a server. So I went back to my car and realized it wasn't in my car. It was in my house, and I was already there. I was late, so I was like, "Fuck! Like, what do I do now?" So then I got in my car and I like FaceTime like 3 of my friends, and I was like, "Should I go in? Like, what should I do?" And they were like, "You're wasting your time right now." So eventually, I just texted my manager, and I just made up some bullshit. I just completely lied. I was like, "Hey, like, I just caught my girlfriend cheating on me. Like, I can't come in. It's a really bad day." And she was like, "Yeah, like 3 employees just saw you inside the restaurant." I was like, "That wasn't me." And she was like, "I'm sorry, but like if you're gonna come back, you're gonna have to be a host. You can't be a server anymore." So then I just never came back, and that was it.
That's funny.
It's horrible, honestly. Horrible employee. It's not meant for it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel you. I've been fired from like all my jobs.
It sounds like you were like bragging about it, which is fucking.
Yeah, fired. Yeah.
I always get fired.
Better to get fired than quit.
No,
Nah, I think quitting's better. It's on your own terms, right?
Getting fired is on your own terms too. You just do something that'll make them fire you. It's hilarious.
you got fired for not wearing a mask.
Yeah, that was the last one.
That's worth it though. Do you remember that? Oh my god, dude, the amount of people I fucking raged on.
Dude, that was a crazy time.
Dude, what was it? I feel like it might have been worse where you are, Nas, right?
I don't know. I mean, it was pretty crazy. Yeah, the rule. I don't know. People just didn't follow the rules as much. Like they weren't enforced. Like I mean, there was no rioting and stuff. You know, like what I saw over there. None of that crazy shit happened here. Really,
It wasn't. So
everyone just kind of submitted to it. You know.
So were people like enforcing it like Nazis or what?
No, it like that. People would just kind of ask you to put a mask on if you didn't have one on, but they didn't like lose. I never saw anyone lose the shit over it or anything like that. Apart from the airports were strict. Whenever I was at the airports were strict.
What would happen if you refused to put one on?
But in the airport?
No, just like in a normal store.
I think they just leave you to it. Like it was the same thing. They were taking your temperature everywhere as well, and people would just refuse to have the temperature taken, and they just be like, okay.
They scan you with the thing. I'm like, am I a fucking robot? Yeah.
Fucking... They're gonna shoot you in the head, like put the thing like right there.
Imagine they just fucking were like putting something in you every time they did that. Some radioactive.
I had to do that when I worked at the gym. I was doing it to people. I was like, I'm gonna be on the other side of this.
You're just going up to people while they're exercising, boop, boop, just during a set.
Everyone would get kicked out. I'd be like, your temperature's way too high. Go to people on the treadmill and kick them out.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Every time I would go into a store, I would like be ready to enter like a full blown argue because I knew every time I went anywhere, I knew that I was gonna have to deal with it. So before I was already like, ready. Like my adrenaline was pumped going into anywhere because I just refused to wear it every time. And Jesse was the same fucking way.
It was me, you, and Shane. None of us, the three of us, never wore it during the whole thing.
Never. And I would go into the store and I would know the guy's gonna say something. So as soon as I walk in, the guy with the fucking card, he'd be like, "Excuse me, sir. You need to wear a mask." I would just be like, "No," and I would just keep walking. And then it'd be like the same guy every time because I go to the same stores. And he just kept doing it. And I would just walk away and he would just be like, "Sir," and I would just keep walking.
Bro, there was some crazy ones though.
Yeah, there were some bad ones. There were some.
I had the cops call on me a few times, even at the gym too.
Where at EOS?
Oh yeah, you guys were supposed to wear them when you trained, right?
Yeah,
bro.
We had our gym.
Our
gym.
Thing here.
Yeah, no, our gym blacked out the walls.
The staff had to wear them, but like there's not gonna ask someone who's squatting to wear a fucking mask.
Bro, they totally were. It was nuts. Yeah, I got kicked out first day out of that gym.
Yeah,
that's insane. Bro.
It was crazy at my school, like at a university. They were insane about masks. Like I wouldn't wear it going to class, and some teachers didn't care, and some literally would like pick me out of 300 people and be like, "You need a mask," and I'm the only person that's not wearing one, and then I told the fuck off. And then like even at the university gym when I used to go there, like I would be either spotting someone that's squatting 3-4 plates, and they say I can't spot somebody because you have to be 6 feet away from someone. I'm like, all right, yeah, I'm gonna maintain my distance just so I don't let them get infected with COVID, but they're gonna fucking die and break their neck with the barbell, and that's safer. Or even like when I remember this one time I did like this drop set on hack squats and just absolutely killed myself, and I just had to lay on the ground, put my mask down like this, and I was like laying on the ground trying to catch my breath. And this dude walks up to me that worked there, and he's like, "Hey, you need to put your mask on." I'm like, "Fuck you!" I'm just like laying on the ground trying not to die. It was just
dude. I remember I was lifting with Lord Jones and Cuban Flex and all of them at EOS. And these motherfuckers are huge. Do you know who they are? Do you know who that is?
Yeah.
Do you know Cuban Flex, Lord Jones?
Yeah.
So Cuban Flex has like a thick Cuban accent. He's like, I can't even fucking mimic it, but he's like, the guy comes up to him, this little motherfucker is like, he's like doing a set. He's like, "Excuse me, sir." Like while he's doing preacher curls, like, "Can you wear a mask on?" And he was like, "What? What did you say to me?" It's like, it was just fucking hilarious to have these guys just come up consistently throughout your entire workout and would just bother you about it.
That shit should never happen, bro.
And it's crazy. Like, what even came from that? It just disappeared. Obviously, we already knew that was going to happen, but You know, where is it at now? People are still wearing them too, which amazes me. It's fucking crazy. I know
Well,
people are probably gonna comment on this and say like, "Oh, look at these fucking guys. They think they're cool, like not wearing a mask, infecting people. Fuck you. You're a retard." All right, that's what I'll say right now.
I'm surprised I never caught nothing. Never wearing a mask once ever.
If I caught anything, I caught it like when it first happened because there was a time period where I worked at the gym and we all got sick at the same time. And then that's when it literally just started going viral. And I got over it. I was fine within like a week. Like it was just like a regular cold. And then I was fine. And then that shit started popping up everywhere. That's when they started introducing the mask. And I was like, all right, maybe that's what I just had. And I never got anything again, never wore a mask or besides when I had to fly and shit, but never got sick again.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Maybe you just got normal sickness and it didn't actually have any correlation with anything else.
Maybe I'm just built different.
What's crazy is all the people that, got a needle stuck in them and wore the masks all the time. They were all
Dude, a lot of that, I know a lot of people that got fucked up from that. Like that one dude, what's his name? Cody Dyel or whatever.
Yeah.
Made him allergic to testosterone.
It made him allergic. I thought he was already allergic before.
No, the vaccine made him allergic. He was on gear before. Once he got the vaccine, he can't take gear anymore. Can't take testosterone. Allergic. His throat like closes up and shit. It's crazy, bro. Imagine. You said what?
Shit gives you autoimmune disorders. Seems like.
I mean, yeah, that's what that would be. It's what it could be. I mean, allergic reaction is autoimmune. But yeah, I mean, you didn't get it. Can you get it? No, did you get vaxxed?
Oh yeah, no. I said, did I get COVID? Yeah, I 100% got that shit, bro. I was working while I had it. Like I know I had it. Yeah. I had every single symptom. I was dying, but I was self-employed at the time, so I was like, well, what if I'm supposed to take, what was it, like 15 days off or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Not get paid for half the month when I'm self-employed and I have business expenses and shit to pay for, on top of other bills. Like no.
See, but you never got the vax.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, I just went to New York. It's crazy because it's not like that here. Like I don't hear anything about it here. Don't hear anything about it in Arizona. Didn't really hear much about it in Denver after it all died down. I mean, they brought that mask shit back actually while I was there. You were there when they brought it back. Remember when you came to visit in Colorado, they brought it back. I remember we went to the movies and the guy was like, "Where's your mask?"
Oh yeah, I just walked by him.
Yeah. But I mean, when I went to New York recently, and they push it there like crazy in New York. It's actually insane. It's like they're literally trying to brainwash everybody. It's nuts. You go into a cab, you go everywhere. All you hear about is a vaccine, new vaccine, wear your mask. Like it's just nonstop. All you hear about it, heard about it, fucking literally every hour of the day that I was there.
That's crazy.
Yeah. New York City.
People living in
the same in California also, like LA.
Oh, definitely, probably. I would think so. I think New York's probably worse, though, honestly.
Yeah.
There's just way more people. But, Nas, you ever gonna come here?
Yeah, I mean, I gotta do shows there, and but yeah, I wanna go there just to spend some time there training and stuff.
Do you know where you want to go? Do you have anywhere specific you want to come visit?
Somewhere hot, bro. It just sucks out here. It's so cold here.
Florida.
Arizona.
Arizona's the desert. Fuck that. Don't go there.
Dude, Arizona is not the desert.
If you came to America and like just visited Arizona, it's just the desert. There's nothing to really see there.
I mean, I've never been to a desert, but yeah, I don't have like a huge desire to go.
Yeah, like if I was visiting from another country, I would go to a big city or like California or Florida, like by the beach.
Yeah, probably.
Big cities suck, bro. What would you want to do?
I love the city. You say that because you're not from a city. Like I'm from New York City, so it's like I'm like a New Yorker, you know.
Love that shit.
I fucking love it. I love it. I mean, I love it, but I hate it. It's just really like a nostalgic thing. While I was there, like I was there for a week, and I was like, yeah, like I would not want to live in the city. Like I wouldn't want to live there. I wouldn't want to live like in Manhattan, but I want to have access to the city. You know, It's just fun. You know, you just have so much to do there. You know, you're just like you never run out of shit to do.
What do you do in the city?
You go to comedy shows, you go to fucking plays, you go to fucking there's just shit to do everywhere. There's food. The food's open later. Like that's a big thing is the food. I mean, at least in New York and Chicago, just like there's just way more culture there, just a lot better food, and it's open later. Like here, it's like I want food after 10 p.m. You're not getting food after 10 p.m. You know, you want anything at 2 a.m., you could go get it in New York. It's just like there's just more options. You know, you have more freedom in a sense there. There's just more variety.
I think of it as like a touristy spot. A city is probably better to go to. But if you're gonna live somewhere, I'd rather live somewhere where you can, drive to like, into the city. But I prefer to live where it's less noisy because I used to live like in downtown Tucson. It was kind of similar to where you were living in your last apartment in Denver. Like downtown it's loud and
But downtown Denver sucks. It's not even a city.
yeah, it's just crazy. I'd rather live somewhere where it's just like a bunch of nature everywhere. And, you can either go like in the forest, you can go on the beach, something like that, more low key. I feel like that's just a better place to live.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, preferably, I would ideally have like 2 places. I'd have a place in the city and a place isolated. That would be like the most ideal.
I have a place in like this country, that state, just beach house.
Do you think you're gonna live where you are in the UK, like for the rest of your life? Like, do you think it's your permanent residence, or do you think like you would move to America like
What,
permanently?
do you think I would live like? No, I think I'd blow my brains out if I stayed here my whole life, bro.
So you think you'll like end up moving here?
Yeah, that's like that's like a life goal for me. It's just a bit visas and shit are a lot tougher.
How do you even have you started that process? Doesn't that take years to do?
Well, yeah, it takes even longer because I'm a sole trader. I think I could get it through the IFBB, but I'd have to I'd have to be like a top athlete for them to do that. But they can sponsor a visa for you.
How long does the visa last? I don't know how any of that shit works. Can't you only come for like so long at a time and then you have to go back?
There's different ones.
Like 3 months without a visa or something, right?
90 days, something like that.
Yeah, 3 months.
Oh, so we were going to talk about something, but I think it's probably a little late now. We are going to talk about the mentality of training, how to get the most you can out of your training versus just relying on studies. I don't know if you want to talk about that or another podcast, but
okay, we could talk about it because I'm still gonna have to cut a bunch of this out. We're probably gonna have like a good amount of time cut off of this, so we'll talk about that and then we'll wrap it up. Okay.
Well, on your last podcast with Paul, the main thing that I disagree with is not the data. You can't really disagree with the data. You can't disagree with physiology, but you can disagree with your mentality towards training. And that's more the competitive aspect when it comes to bodybuilding. Having a set belief system that carries you throughout your bodybuilding. So I think that's what kind of sets me apart from someone else who has a different mentality towards training, where a lot of people want to not see what they're capable of doing and say there's no point in doing more there. And maybe
this all relates to what I was just saying. So it relates to people being comfortable, people accepting their life as what it is. This is what it is, not wanting to push their boundaries, not trying to have different perspectives, or it's not really wanting to get more out of themselves, out of life. And this all relates back to training, because it's like people think, why should I do more? Why should I go harder if I could just do this and get away with it? And that's not the mentality you should ever have going to training. And this is what all these guys have all bodybuilders preach this shit. And people just look at them like all meatheads when you say, oh, you should train as hard as you can, push your limits, train balls to the wall, push yourself to failure, past failure. You want to bring that intensity and you want to have the right mentality going into training. So
wait, so Adam, what are you said you disagree. Like, what are you disagreeing with?
So like the specific statements were that you don't need to do drop sets. It's either not going to help you or it might actually be detrimental, or even intensifiers in general, like rest pauses, things like that.
What has to do with it? Well, we talked about that. It has to do with the implementation though. So you're saying regardless of the implementation?
Yes, regardless of that, just saying that as a fact in general, that doing intensifiers and, because like you want to have fun with the training and all that. I'm saying most people, whether you're, just getting into training or you're an actual competitive bodybuilder, you need to just have the system in place, which is the mindset going into your training, thinking, I want to get as much as I can possible, see what I'm capable of actually doing in the gym, and finding where that limit is and continuing to push that limit forward. And what that actually looks like is training your fucking ass off, doing those force reps, which he said there's no point in doing force reps. I disagree. Doing intensifiers when it makes sense to do them, and not just relying on the fact that, oh, I don't need to do that. Oh, you only need this much in order to see progress. Same with protein intake. You only need this amount of protein in order to build muscle. What if you can build more muscle, 1% more, from eating a little bit more protein or from training a little bit harder? that's going to compound. Terrence Ruffin made a video about that recently, saying it's going to compound over time. If you're doing this an extra 1%, that, you know, it's not going to make a difference in the data or in the short term, but that extra 1% over the next 10 years, that's going to make a difference. And so that
that's what
forward.
So bodybuilding is all about, getting that extra little edge over everything and hitting all those end goals. And that's why literature doesn't always really mean anything, because like Terrence said in that video, and I saw that pennies add up to dollars over time. It's the same thing when we talk about like fasted cardio, and like fasted cardio may not have a significant difference because it's all about, just the caloric expenditure, how many calories you're burning, just doing that in general. But if we can take advantage of, the elevated free fatty acid mobilization, that extra lipolysis or whatever, do that fast cardio, it might not make a significant difference in, this little span of time, but over an entire prep, it most certainly could. So it's about getting everything, and how that relates back to training. It's pushing yourself, pushing the envelope, and creating, because especially as you get more advanced, right? Because you're going to need to push the envelope more. You're going to need to train harder. You're going to need to create more adaptations once you get to such a certain level.
Right.
You think
also,
you think like goals? Do you think goals affect the mindset as well? Right.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you mean by that, though?
I mean, for someone like myself, I've always had. When I first got into the gym, I was a running back, so I was playing football, so I wanted to win games. So that was what's driving me. And then now, right now, my goal is to be one of the best in classic physique, and the kind of people that I'm up against, most guys, inspirations, like Ramon, Chris, like that's my target. So my mindset is not going to be the same as someone who just wants to have abs on, when they go on vacation.
Yeah. Definitely.
Take your training. So you have big goals. So are you going to get to those big goals by training with a minimalist mentality of, I only need to do 6 sets, when you feel like you could do 8 sets?
Exactly. When I go into the gym, my mindset is going to be completely different to someone that's just thinking of getting pissed on the beach. Because
there's something driving you. There's a driving factor within that. A lot of guys just go to the gym and their goal is, I just want to build muscle. I just want to get bigger. And that's not really a driving factor. That's just a modern, a basic goal that a majority of people have. If I have the intention of I want to be the fucking best, I want to win the Olympia, I want to get my pro card, there's a driving factor behind every training session during those sets. When I start to reach failure, when it starts to get hard, it's like, okay, what's going to separate me right now? What's going to get me ahead? Am I going to stop this set, or am I going to do more than what my competition could potentially be doing at the end of the day? You need to be pushing yourself harder.
And that is the job that you need to have.
Do you think you can do that without that kind of goal, though?
Yeah, you can do that without the kind of goal.
Yeah, you think that someone can? With that, do you think that they can have a similar mindset to me but not have my goal? You know what I'm saying? Do you think someone could have a pro athlete's mindset or an elite advanced person's mindset? Because I don't know if you can have that mindset and you've never been at least involved. Yeah, at least involved with it. Has Paul? I don't know much about Paul. I follow his content. Has he competed? What was his?
Who?
Paul Carter, what was
Paul was a competitive powerlifter, and I believe he competed in a few bodybuilding shows as well. But Paul trains hard. It's not he doesn't train hard. He does all these things. It's just, we're talking about. I don't think we really even touched on the mentality of training within that podcast too.
Because that's what I was going to say. When I see his stuff and when I see his stories and where he's coming from a mentality point of view, he's not trying. He's he's not, like you said, he's done all these things already. He doesn't have anything to prove, and he isn't trying to get somewhere that someone like myself is trying to get to, So, of course, he isn't going to look at.
Well, that's just a matter of it's a matter of talking about training just from a scientific perspective. What you need, what's going to produce results on paper, what might be the most optimal way to do it, what you really need, but there's such nuance and so many variables that go into what you might need and what you can benefit more from. There's a point of diminishing returns, but where that point is different for everybody. We cannot just say that if I do 12 working sets in a session for chest, and once I do more than 8, that's not doing anything more. We cannot say that. There's such nuance, and it varies between every individual. There's no way to really say that. And once you become advanced, you can feel like you're training. You have auto regulation, Jesse, when you're doing legs, this leg workout is shot. Like I'm not doing anything more for my quads at this point. Like there's no point. Like it would just be pointless. But if I do more, like I could still have stimulating effective sets that would be beneficial. You follow up with that, or are you just gonna fucking look at me,
bro? Last time I tried to talk to you guys, just kept cutting me off. So,
what were you gonna say?
I don't even remember anymore.
All right,
you
know what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, Nas is completely right about having that mentality for his training. Basically, Paul isn't trying to get, and a lot of people aren't trying to get to a new level of muscularity that they have not been to yet. He's training hard because he loves it, and that's great for him. But for somebody who's competitive as a pro and wants to, get to the top of the top, you need to put in everything, every ounce of effort and drive and desire and passion in order to get to that next level of muscularity. So holding yourself back makes absolutely zero sense by saying, I don't need to do this drop set. I don't need to do these extra sets. You need to train optimally, yes, by having good execution.
Well, what's optimal for you might not be optimal for me.
Yeah, like 99% of fitness, fitness TikTok and advice is not going to help me. Like if I took most of the advice from most of them are smaller than me from a start, or less experienced, or don't have the goal I have. So if I take their advice just based off a study, I'm probably going to end up regressing more than anything else.
Yeah, just basing your training ideology off of a study is going to hold you back versus doing what actually makes most sense to you and works best for you. That's what these kids don't actually understand. They just listen to either what the studies say or what people are saying.
Well, it's hard to really conceive that, because when we're looking at literature and it's like producing these results and it says, we benefit the most from X amount of volume and going to failure here. Once you go past this point of failure, you're not really doing anything more. So it's
those studies aren't done on guys like Nas.
No, they're not. They're not done.
Exactly.
I don't think there's any studies. There might be like one. There's no studies done on open bodybuilders. And also we're talking about long time frames. No studies are done over long time frames. And having to, create more adaptations. Like I said, once you get to a certain point where maybe you don't need to do necessarily like you more volume, but you need to increase your intensity, right? As an advanced trainer. So at that point, that would be the purpose of maybe adding an intensifier, right? So you're still going to failure. You're still increasing volume to an extent by adding more effective reps, but that's not the sole purpose. The purpose is to increase the intensity of your training and have new adaptations to that to push the envelope further.
Or even training for a pump, let's say. So like if you have the mentality that training for a pump isn't going to help me build muscle because the science says so. So you're only doing straight sets, maybe doing some intensifiers just to get more stimulating reps, but not focusing on driving blood into the muscle. Having that mentality, whether it's right or wrong, having that mentality is going to hold you back more than actually doing it and seeing if you're actually going to benefit from it in the long term. Because obviously if it feels good and it makes sense to you, why would you not want to do it? It's not really going to hold you back from,
I don't even understand that argument. The argument really stems from the fact that metabolic stress doesn't drive hypertrophy, but I've never gone through a fucking workout and not gotten a pump.
Yeah. Also, if you're not getting a pump at all,
means you're not executing with intent.
That'd be like a powerlifting workout, like straight powerlifting. Like that's where you wouldn't
low
get
reps. Yeah.
What's funny is
I don't think you'll find any pro bodybuilder that's never had a pump. Like
we see like bodybuilding hypertrophy programming becoming more like powerlifting programming
because of the studies and what they show that it's only about mechanical loading, mechanical tension, myofibular breakdown and hypertrophy, which is the main driver of hypertrophy. But if you even think about it from like a secondary mechanism of how sarcoplasmic hypertrophy can assist in myofibular hypertrophy, thinking about it from just a primary standpoint of how, okay, training for a pump is only going to increase the amount of glycogen that the muscle can store and increase the amount of metabolites that go into the muscle, but that's not going to help me actually build the muscle proteins. From that primary perspective, sure. But if you actually think about it, okay, so if I'm able to store more glycogen in the muscle, if I'm able to push more amino acids and growth factors and testosterone into the muscle, that might kind of help go along with breaking down the muscle proteins, progressive overload, building muscle. It kind of goes hand in hand, using more tools that are in your tool belt, and that's what makes you a better bodybuilder. That's the mentality that I'm talking about also, is just using more tools in your tool belt to make you a better bodybuilder.
Yeah. I totally agree with you. It's just hard. It's hard to make these arguments because there's not like an exact like scientific literature way to support it, right?
In terms of scientific literature, no. But if you're talking about physiology, then you can explain it from that way, like what I just said.
Yeah, it's
Well,
just
science
like,
is science. We can't always go strictly by science at the end of the day, too. You know, there's a lot of gaps in science, and also there's times where I think experience and anecdotal definitely triumphs literature because literature studies are limited. You know, I saw fucking some guy the other day post about how rack pulls are pointless, right? I don't know if you saw
Yeah,
that.
that's
And then
all
Phil,
they do.
yeah, I've seen that all over TikTok. When
Yeah,
I first was posting my back workouts, everyone's telling me rack pulls are pointless.
yeah, because of the range of motion it takes you through. But then if you ask all these fucking coaches, they entirely disagree with it and will accredit rack pulls to developing, you know, huge traps, backs, you know. So how do you argue that though? Because then somebody's just gonna make the argument, oh, it simply doesn't take you through this range of motion, right? You know, just that simple, not effective, and it's not that simple, really.
Well, I would say the main argument that I would have is you're not gonna be able to load the traps as much with shrugs versus a rack pull or even farmer's walks because now you're using other muscles and stabilization versus just holding the weight at the top. What do your traps do? They hold your arms down by your side. Of course, you can also make the argument that isometric holds aren't going to stimulate hypertrophy. I think there are studies that prove that. But anecdotally, even just in my own experience, my traps have never been more sore and have seen more growth from doing rack pulls consistently with 4, 5, 6 plates doing, you know,
Is
2,
Jesse
3
sleeping?
All these things you guys are arguing, it doesn't even make sense to me why it's an argument. So
Because of science and these motherfuckers just going around trying to basically revolutionize shit when really they're not revolutionizing anything. And all the guys that are spewing this shit are always fucking small too.
You don't use TikTok.
if it's not a pro competitor like talking about it, like I don't really care.
No,
It's people with a lot of followers though.
Yeah.
it's
I get
science-based guys that yeah, they want to revolutionize things, but they also want to find the easiest way to do things, and that's not the best way to do things.
There's a difference between competing and just training though. Like if you're competing against everyone else who's competing, so you have to do more. Like you can't just by doing the bare minimum. That's never going to work. It's not a competition.
But that's not
But
even.
there's people who will still see me training and tell people that it's wrong.
Well, it is wrong if you're not trying to train to be an IFBB pro and get the most you can and put on as much muscle as possible. But it all depends on your goals. Like I just don't even understand. Like, are they saying that you're training wrong for your own goals?
This is the thing. This is the thing is that people take statements and think it's gospel. They don't understand the immense amount of nuance that applies to everything.
Like I'll just post my workout and I'll just say this is my workout because people ask for it. I won't say anything else. I'll just say this is my like back workout, and then someone will stitch it and say it's wrong.
Yeah. Obviously, obviously they're smaller than you and they're not training for the same thing that you're training for.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to see a bigger bodybuilder making a video on you saying.
But how they understand training from what they've been presented through literature and through these guys who educate on it, what he might be doing, they are interpreting as wrong, and they truly believe that he could just get more out of doing less or doing things differently.
There's definitely people out there that think that, you know, Ronnie could have got 10 Olympias if he did a certain exercise different, or if he did this split instead. There's people that genuinely think that.
Okay, well, are those people Ronnie's coach? Like, why do they even have an opinion?
Because they saw some TikToks and they understand exercise science now. That's why.
Some TikToks, yeah.
Yeah, you know, that's why I like Joe a lot because if you've seen Joe, the way he explains things, Joe understands that there's a lot of nuance to this shit, and he's just he just understands all of that, and he doesn't. Anybody who I'll say this, anybody who talks about something like in what's the word I'm looking for? I always can't think of words. Yeah, absolutes. Anybody who talks in absolutes doesn't know what they're talking about.
In bodybuilding, yeah, certainly.
Yes. I mean, obviously, there's certain things where it's like, you know, obviously a fucking bicep curl is going to train your bicep. Like, we are not going to argue that. Like, obviously, you could say absolutes in that. But if we're going to say more protein doesn't make you grow more, or, you know, doing X amount of volume is going to hurt you, you cannot talk in absolutes like that and say that it applies to everybody and run around saying that, because that's just not how it works.
Yeah.
Never do more than 9 sets per workout, or else it's wrong.
Yeah. That's like that to even give that argument any validity is crazy to me. Like I wouldn't even argue with those people. It's like what are they even saying? With what merit are you saying what you're saying?
Studies, fucking research, the studies they've
with,
seen.
with followers though.
Studies are so invalid that it's crazy. Like none of these studies that anyone does are legit. It's not on competitors. It has nothing to do with competing. It has nothing to do with maximum like muscle growth. Like it's just like crazy.
Yeah, I mean, then we also take. I mean, yeah, there's so much shit that goes into it. How those people are executing those exercises. Are they executing them with intent? Because that'll, change everything if you're actually, pressing and activating your chest and focusing on, moving it through your chest besides just pushing up, right? It's going to change. There's a lot of things that go into that. So I don't know. There's just so much. There's just so much that goes into it that there's really no way to give any answers on anything besides that it just fucking depends and there's nuance to everything.
And there's no way we can actually have real studies. Like there are no studies because there can't be any actual studies on this stuff. Like there's,
if you look at it from a different perspective, like let's say like MMA training, you can't say there's one absolute right way to do MMA training. Like there's a perfect formula and this is how every single fighter should train. Like obviously that's not the answer. Everyone's different. Everyone has different styles, different strengths, different weaknesses. They have different environmental factors. And like, it's just everyone's training protocol is going to be set up totally different because they respond in different ways. And if that's not obvious, then I don't know like what people are even
and they
thinking.
do what makes the most sense to them as well.
Yeah.
Like
people will say, are you gonna say something?
Like you go.
Let's say, well, people will say like doing higher volume is bad. You can't do higher volume when that's just bullshit. It just changes the conversation. Like you can't just say it's bad or if it's wrong. Like you could get away with, you could do less volume. What are you gonna say?
I was just gonna say, what even is higher volume? Like it's just.
Well, high volume now is fucking apparently anything more than 10 sets.
Yeah.
I would consider high volume like 20 sets in a workout for a muscle group, not for the whole workout. So now people will say you can't do that effectively and you're doing junk volume, you're wasting time, you should just do less sets. But the reality is that you can do higher volume and in that case, maybe you're not pushing to absolute failure on every set. And with that, you can still get the exact same outcome as you would have or similar results to doing lesser volume and pushing harder. So you cannot say that one way, this is the way to do it. This is right. That way is wrong. There's different ways to go about things. Why do you think Jay Cutler got to where he fucking is now? It's not all just because of genetics and he didn't train to failure. He did more volume, went close to failure, just had to do more.
Yeah, it's all a spectrum, and there's a huge range within this spectrum of things that'll work, and some areas within that spectrum will work better for other people. And then if you start getting to the far ends of the spectrum, like, okay, yeah, I'm doing 100 sets now, like, okay, that's probably not going to work. That you can say absolutely for the mostly everyone, that's not going to work. But
yeah,
if you're going from the range of like 2 to 20 sets, you could get great results anywhere within that range. So there's no one right way.
Yeah, it just depends on the execution, the person, depends on preference, how you like to train.
Yeah. I mean, maybe I squeeze my muscles just as good at like in one set, whereas some beginner, it takes them 10 sets to get that same amount of stimulus that I got from one set. So like, it's all relative.
Well, that has to do with neurological connection. Most beginners don't even have that to begin with.
Yeah. So then you might want to do more volume in that case, just to get some overload on the muscle.
I think when we're talking about beginners, I really think a beginner could fucking do anything. I think it doesn't even matter. Yeah. Like a beginner's going to grow no matter what. They've never fucking lifted. They're going to respond. They're going to grow.
I mean, it has to be like within boundaries. Obviously, you can't just like touch a dumbbell, but you have to like,
anything's better than nothing. So
yeah, you have to at least like move some weights around, use the muscles a little bit, and at least do something with the muscles, and then they're gonna see something from it. And really,
then that ceiling is gonna keep on increasing, and then if you want to continue to grow, you have to keep on.
Yeah. Well, there's the argument that beginners need less volume to grow, which is true, but it's true given the context that beginner knows how to actually train to failure. If they don't, then they're going to need to do additional volume to even make up for that. So when we're talking about beginners, we're talking about beginners that they're not even really beginners because in this context, they know how to train, right?
It's like me right now. So right now I just took 3 months off. I'm coming back to training. I'm only doing one set because that's all I need. But when I first started, if I was just first starting training and I try to do one set, I'm not going to get anything out of that, or at least not near as much as I would doing multiple sets because I don't have that experience and that connection.
Yeah.
And everything. But that should be obvious.
And now that you know how to train, you progressively can titrate that volume up and see how you respond But a beginner can't really do that. Beginner's not going to know what the fuck is going on. They should really probably just do more volume and just try to push themselves hard because they're going to get more out of that at the end of the day. They're probably not pushing a failure. They don't know how to train. They don't know correct execution. Like they're going to get
before they even push to failure, they should just focus on their execution and try to have the best execution possible before you even really push yourself.
Yeah. And in that case, if they're not even trying to push failure, still need more volume to make up to get the same results.
Mm-hmm.
So it all just depends.
Still even like 10 reps left in the tank from failure in their first set, they need to do more sets in order to cause any sort of stimulus on the muscle. But if for whatever reason, let's say they have a personal trainer and their trainer is saying, no, you got more, and just keeps them going, they won't need, all these extra sets in order to achieve that same goal that they got in that first set. So that's why there's so much variability in volume for beginners.
Yeah, well, I think for the most part, it talks about it depends it all depends on what we're qualifying beginner as. I would say beginner is like somebody who can progress very fast, and then moves into like novice, intermediate, advanced, all that. But if we're talking about beginner just in general, like somebody who doesn't know how to train, they're gonna have to do more volume. They're gonna have to. They shouldn't even, like you said, they shouldn't even really go to failure. They shouldn't go, because if you've ever seen a beginner try to go to failure, their form breaks down. They start moving like this. They're risking injury. So they should play it safe. They should leave reps in reserve and opt for more volume.
When I talk about training to failure, I mean within like having no form breakdown, like within perfect form. Like that's failure. Like if you start having form breakdown, then you fail. Like that's where you draw the line.
Yeah, exactly. So, but beginners can't do that. So beginners should opt for more volume at the end of the day. And then once you have form down and you have execution down, it doesn't mean like you're an experienced lifter. You're still a beginner. But now you're a beginner who knows how to fucking train. So now we could start, maybe lowering down the volume if you could push to failure while maintaining that good execution, bring the volume down, and then depending on your response, we could titrate that up from there. And just basically just go off of how you progress.
Also noticing if you're not able to recover because your actual effort within each set has gotten better, your execution has gotten better, and you're still doing the same amount of sets as before. Now you're just training harder within those same amount of sets, but now you're not recovering for the next workout. That's when I would look at decreasing the amount of volume you're doing in order to continue to progress while still prioritizing the quality of each set rather than just prioritizing quantity.
Yeah, so that would come down. Yeah, like you said, you could decrease the volume, or that all comes down to your split setup and your frequency too. You could have more days to recover between these sessions if you're doing more or less volume.
If you just keep running the same thing over time, your body will adapt and you'll start recovering. Usually,
well, yeah, your recovery ability will get better over time, but that's why you also need to continue to push the envelope, like you said, like when we become more advanced, like doing training harder, intensifiers, not let it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think we're all on the same page.
Yeah, we are all on the same page. I just lost my train of thought.
The same page, which is logic.
But I think it's also a benefit of having a podcast, because you can't say this shit in a 30, 60-second long TikTok, because that's why everybody's saying all these absolutes, because it's easier, it's more concise, and you can say it to one specific type of person or demographic where it might make sense to that person. But because there's all this nuance and variability between spectrums and demographics, that's why it's good to kind of just explain, this might be why high volume makes more sense for this type of person, and this might be why low volume might make more sense, and why you can try both and just see what works best for you, and just saying all this stuff that you can't really say.
Well, most people just don't even want to actually learn. They want that short-term content. They don't have the attention span. Their attention span is like a dog's. They can't fucking focus on anything. That's why even I've done these. This is what, the 5th podcast now, and even after doing this, people still listen to this and take like the last podcast. They take statements and just run with it. And I'm not sure if they just don't understand what we're saying, or they're not listening, or not thinking about it, or they're just waiting to hear something that they agree with so that they can validate that. Like they hear the thing about 3 or 6 sets, and they're not even hearing the conversation, and they just go ahead and run with that. And they're like, oh, like, are you going to do 6 sets now? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Did you even hear the conversation? So even in this long form content, you still have people that are going to misinterpret shit. And I don't know if there's anything you could do about that.
Some people are just,
what?
Some people are just lost.
Yeah, some people are just lost. There's no hope for them. So with that being said, we'll call this an episode. We'll wrap this one up. If you're listening to this, make sure you're actually listening and not just fucking taking statements and running with them. Don't be a zealot. Don't be a short attention span dog. Be a thinker. Be smart. And that's it. That's all for today. Till next time, guys. See you next time.